Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price today as we have closed our first 4-hour candle above 58,350, which we all know is a extremely important level for Bitcoin. And currently Bitcoin is following the schematics of this symmetrical triangle breakout, heading towards our target of around the $65,000 to $66,000 level. But you have to see what's happening to the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, because on the daily chart, we do have the first daily bullish divergence happening right now with the RSI. You can see we are forming lower lows with price action while forming higher lows on the RSI. I want to talk about whether or not we're going to see a massive breakout for Ethereum, because you can see we're also starting to see price action above this previous weekly open, heading towards the monthly open. And if we get above this monthly open, there is a potential case here for Ethereum to come all the way up to the 35,000 Satoshi level. I want to talk about how that could play out. Of course, we know Ethereum is becoming a deflationary asset with EIP 1559 and of course ETH 2.0. And so there's a lot to look at today. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Al-Obeidi. If you appreciate this content, remember to like this video. First, I want to talk about exactly what's happening to this breakout with Bitcoin, because just like we predicted, we are seeing a continuation to the upside. And when we look at the type of volume that we're seeing here, we are seeing big buy volume come in, and this would be considered institutional type volume. And we are also seeing a lot of sellers, but they're just not as powerful as the buyers in the market right now. And so to me, that is a very positive thing. Overall, if we look at the 6-hour and daily chart, we could say that we are still seeing low volume. And we know the path to least resistance when there's low volume is always sideways to a little bit higher. And so there's a very good chance Bitcoin can continue to see upside even with the slightest amount of volume coming in, and especially looking at what's happening to traditional markets, which we'll cover later in this video. We're starting to see the DXY come up without affecting the S&P 500 or even Bitcoin to the extent that we would expect it to, which means that we might be coming closer to our intrinsic value for these assets. And I'll talk a little bit about what I'm talking about throughout the traditional markets portion of this video, but I do want to address what's happening here with Bitcoin. If we continue to see price action at this point above 58,350, that to me is a major support level, and we could expect the $61,800 level here fairly soon, because that is the next level of resistance. And of course, if this resistance level breaks, that puts us back into price discovery, and we have this target right around the $65,000 to $66,000 level for Bitcoin to potentially come towards, based on the schematics of the symmetrical triangle breakout that we saw here. Of course, we also had this inverse head and shoulder that we covered 3 days ago, and that is what initiated this breakout. And so we want to continue to monitor the volume to see whether or not we're going to continue to see light volume, or at least start to see more of these big buy volumes come in. And so realize that when it comes to the downside scenario, the first major support at this point is 58,350. Now that we've gotten above that, it's a very good thing, because it makes the schematics a lot clearer for us to assume whether or not this is going to see continuation to the upside. And so once again, if the rug gets pulled on us, I have to be the umpire. We have to watch the $58,350 level. That is the first major support. And then from there, we have the previous weekly open at 57,350. I believe if we get below 57,350, that's going to be my first sign of caution. There is a possibility that we could come down to retest this triangle, as we've seen Bitcoin do that many times in the past. And so I would really be watching that the weekly open at this point, which is at 55,700, to really confirm any more of a bullish scenario, or a bearish scenario, to the downside. And so if we get below 57,000 or 55,782 at the weekly open, that would be where I would start questioning whether or not we're going to see continued highs. But at this point, we could even come all the way down to test the support of the triangle. As long as we maintain the weekly open, I think that we could see continued upside, and we may even just see this continue if we don't see sell pressure come in. And once again, the path of least resistance when there's light volume is always going to be sideways to a little bit higher. But I do want to address what's happening to the Ethereum to US dollar chart, because if you saw earlier in this video, we do have a very bullish divergence on the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, and we are currently testing this 1850 level that we talked about yesterday. Around this level, there's a lot of resistance and confluence that if we start to see continued hourly and 4-hour candles close above 1850, there's a very high chance sooner or later we'll see Ethereum come up to 1981. And once again, this is so close to that big even of 2000 that we could potentially be seeing a early stage of a massive breakout for Ethereum. Of course, Bitcoin is going to determine the major moves, but when we look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, we do have that very bullish divergence. We know that we're testing this major support level on this channel for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, and so there is a potential we could be seeing the early signs of a reversal, but we have to address the fact that on the daily chart, we are still below the 200-day moving average with a potential death cross coming, and so we really want to get above 32,200 Satoshis, which is the 200-day moving average at this point, for that real confirmation that we could potentially see a reversal here. And then really right now, the monthly open is acting as a major resistance that we need to first get above as the first barrier here. And that is sitting right at that 31,400 Satoshi level. So if we start to come up and close hourly 4-hour candles above this level, then that's when we'll start to see momentum, in my opinion, for the Ethereum price. And then the total cryptocurrency market cap chart coming up, looking like it wants to form new highs. We almost have this sort of ascending triangle formation here. And so we could potentially expect this to continue to break out. And this is really helping a lot of altcoins because we can see with others' dominance, we also have this similar ascending triangle formation here. And we are seeing a lot of momentum with altcoins for those that are trading altcoins, while Bitcoin dominance has been maintaining the 60% level. And so that is some food for thought. And I do want to cover what's happening to traditional markets because the DXY is, interestingly enough, breaking this resistance, seeing strength, but we're not necessarily seeing a negative reaction in the Bitcoin price or even in the S&P 500. You can see traditional markets are not necessarily reacting in any volatile way about the DXY seeing continued highs. That could potentially be a good thing, because what that means is even though the dollar value is increasing, just because we've seen an inflation in asset prices doesn't mean that's not the true intrinsic value of the asset at the current time. And so if we see strength in traditional markets while the DXY comes up, that is not actually a bad thing. However, we do have to address the fact that there is starting to see strength here in the dollar value, and we are above the 200-day moving average. We do have a confirmation at this point of a reversal here, and we're coming up to test the 50-week moving average, but we're already above the 20-week moving average. And so we want to watch this. If we start to see the S&P 500 react to this negatively, then we could start to caution ourselves when it comes to Bitcoin. But so far, we haven't seen much of a crazy reaction when it comes to the S&P 500, and international markets don't look too bad. Really, the only thing suffering right now from this has been gold, and you can see we have yet to see any bullish divergences. We could potentially even see lower lows here form. We could potentially see a bullish divergence here in the next week or so where there would be a buying opportunity, but so far we're seeing weakness, and the DXY is really affecting gold more than anything right now. So that's some food for thought. And with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this analysis. If you want to win one of my favorite books on investing, Principles by Ray Dalio, all you have to do is comment below and share this video. I'm going to pick a winner from our video yesterday. Let's see here. Martin Nizip says, walks like a duck, talks like a duck. Must be a major breakout. You want a book? Send me a message on Instagram. The link is in the description below. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. It is a very exciting time in the markets. I'm glad that I was able to be your umpire today and address the upside and downside potential for Bitcoin. I'm really liking what I'm seeing here with the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. Let's see how we can maintain price action above this monthly open. And if that starts to become the storyline, then we could be seeing the early stages of a reversal. So it'll be exciting to see Ethereum break beyond $2,000 US and see new all-time highs continuing into price discovery if we start to see this bullish scenario unfold, especially if Bitcoin comes back up to test the $61,000 level, which is more than probable at this point. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, snipers out.